welcome back to this video. In this video, we're gonna go through bulk section of the Depreciation Lab. As we have discussed before in previous videos, if you are a business tier user, which is the highest subscription in Depreciation Lab, you have access to bulk import up to 1,000 assets in a single go. So as you can see, I'm logged in with my business user account. And these are the 4th bulk section, standard methods, which covers SLN, DB and DDB methods. Altogether, 1,000 assets you can import. MACRS US Tax, here you can also import 1,000 lines or 1,000 assets through a specific template, which I will show you soon. WDV India Tax, here also you can import up to 1,000 rows or 1,000 assets. And activity based, that is units of production method, here also you can import up to 1,000 assets through a import template. Specialized method, that is component method, work is in progress. It is a complex method. If you must have seen previous video on component method walkthrough, in this particular section we went through how to add one asset with a very exhaustive and edge case scenario. It took a lot of time just to do manually. To configure the same, basically automating the import and the fields and give accurate output is a challenge, but I'm working on it and it will be available soon. So all bulk upload methods have a similarity in terms of input, calculation result and history. So if we take example of standard method, we have an input section where you see the entire guidance on each row and column, basically column for your template. First thing, you would want to download the template, which is a standard template for the standard method. So you would click here. So this is how the bulk template would look like. The template would come pre-configured with some 10 assets, which is, for example, if you want to quickly test, and it has a detailed instruction as well. So if you count, we have 30 columns. And each column has a reason and a purpose. For example, we are allowing 3 improvements. So if you have learned in standard method input form, you can add more improvements, maybe up to 5 or 6. Practically, it's not possible. In real life and real life scenarios, this would be impractical. But even though I have allowed here for per asset, you can add up to 3 improvements. Then you have other inputs like impairment, recoverable amount, impairment reason, dispose asset, disposal date of the asset, disposal proceed, that is a sale proceed, and disposable expense, that is sales expense for your asset disposal. So these red columns are compulsory, and DB factor is also you need to put for a DDB method only. So here you can put the DB factor, which we have learned when we were looking at input form for the standard methods. Currency you can choose, tax rate, discount rate, improvements we already discussed, salvage value for improvement, and other columns we just discussed. So these all are 30 columns and you need to populate the same accurately. So if you don't add the column values properly or accurately, the app will throw an error and all errors will be listed at the bottom or somewhere here. And we will see that in action as well. Basically, the app will not accept those rows of assets. Any valid row will be processed successfully. So suppose you had tried to import 1,000 assets or 1,000 rows of asset for standard methods, and there were 15 assets with some inconsistency in the column values. Rest of the assets, suppose it was 15, so 985 assets will be processed successfully. And the app will process it. The Depreciation Lab app will tell you what was wrong with those 15 assets and what you need to correct. And then you can re-upload everything together to get the accurate depreciation calculation for 1,000 assets. Here you will get the calculation result. Currently, I have imported only 10 assets for a testing purpose. So you have a beautiful dashboard which shows a lot of information. So it has a total 10 assets imported. This is the gross GAV, gross asset value, initial investment, addition. So this is the sum total of both and any impairment or sale proceed. So this is asset investment base, which are this total 5 cards, and below is financial valuation and exit summary. So accumulated depreciation, net book value, impairment loss, total proceeds, any asset which has been sold, and realized gain or loss. You can also filter the asset, and this is the dashboard, and it has a paginated report. So if you had 1,000 assets, you can always flip through different pages. Here, this is a beautiful report, and you can see here more detail. If you click, these columns are core columns, and if you want to see more details like improvement, impairment, sale proceed, you can click through, you can see more details per asset. And here you see status as well. Now this dashboard is not same as asset register dashboard. So as I mentioned before in previous component method video, this particular asset register is only for manually entered asset. The capacity of this particular asset register is 150. So you can have 150 assets here maximum, because that is the capacity of each manual input form here. That is standard, activity based, and specialized. So that asset register is here. While for bulk upload, each section of bulk upload, that is standard, MACRS, WDV India tax, and activity based UOP, has their own dashboards. But there is one more but here. User dashboard will have all details. That we will come to later. At the end of the video series, we will walk through the user dashboard properly. So coming back to bulk upload, you will have a calculations here, and you can export this report. So for standard method, there are 3 reports. One is asset register, that is the overall status of your fixed assets. Annual schedule, year by year detail breakdown, and monthly schedule, month by month detail breakdown. Now in a history tab, we have 2 options, uploads and reports. Now this uploads file, I have tried my best to give you the exact template back, but because of the data processing at the server in the Firebase, this is supposed to give you last uploaded template for your audit purpose, audit trail purpose. And it will give you data, but it won't be the exact same format or the template which you uploaded, which I showed you, which is this particular template. Suppose you had entered 1,000 assets and you upload it. This is supposed to give you exact same ditto template back when you download. But it is not working, and this is a technical problem. I have researched a lot. And also I reached out to Firebase team, and they confirmed that once the template goes to the server, it has some processing issue, and when you download it, it will be a different format. But still, you'll get the core data. But this is not the end of the world here. You can always save the template you uploaded by giving a particular version number or a date, so that data is never lost. In reports, you can see the last calculation run, which is already available here. So as on this particular calculation run, these are the results which you can always download, which is always available. So this is the same with other methods. MACRS, as you can see, 3 sections, WDV India tax, and activity based UOP. So each method has a different kind of dashboard, depends on what data you have. So for example, WDV Tax India has a completely different dashboard and completely different report. Same with MACRS. Yes, the template download and validation would remain same, but the calculation result page will change. So for example, in MACRS, we have IRS Form 4562 worksheet and complete asset register for financial accounting. And the dashboard is also different with more features. An activity-based method also has a different kind of dashboard. Including the currency selection and utilization. Here also you can click and see what's going on. So this is the overview of bulk import section. So for these 4 sections, which has total 6 methods we are discussing, 3 methods in standard and other 3 methods are here. So total 6 methods bulk import supports in Depreciation Lab. As I said, I'm working on specialized, that is component depreciation bulk import feature, which will be available soon. One of the things about bulk method, one of the critical things you must know about bulk import, that it is not an additive import. Meaning, suppose here in this particular section, that is standard method, we have 10 assets configured, which I had imported earlier. I have added 10 assets in the import template and uploaded here and did the calculation. Suppose you want to add 2 more assets to the same 10 asset, that is adding 2 more assets. And you think that let me just add those 2 specific assets, and via import, I will upload those 2 assets. So what will happen? This entire 10 asset will go away, and the two assets will appear. That means the asset will be replaced completely whatever you had here before. So what ideally you should do is to go back to the original template with 10 asset which you had, add the two assets or as many asset up to 1000 asset you want to add, and then re-upload it and you will have the complete data. So this is applicable to all methods here in bulk import. Or if you want to do calculation of, suppose you said I want to do calculation for 5000 assets. I said no problem. You can create 5 templates, upload 1000 asset at a time. Of course, it must be valid. Make sure there are no errors or no validation errors. Suppose everything is fine and you upload 1000 assets. You download the report, upload the second batch, third batch, fourth batch, and fifth batch. This way you can import up to 5000 assets, but they won't be appearing at the same time. That's the disadvantage here, because current capacity of Depreciation Lab for bulk import is 1000 assets. So this is a very critical thing you need to remember while using bulk import feature in the Depreciation Lab. So in the next video, we're going to start with doing a live example for standard methods, and we will import the new template altogether. I will show you what happens if there are invalid data and what you can do about it. We'll see the result, we'll see the reports. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video in Depreciation Lab.